Welcome, wonderful dreamers. Today I wanted to practice making a date and walnut loaf. Perfect for a cold winter day. I have prepared most of the ingredients ahead of time. So the first ingredient I need is 1 cup boiling water. Then I will add 200 grams of pitted chopped dates to the water. I will leave them to soak and soften for at least 5 minutes. The pitted dates are large, so I cut them into quarters. Then add them. The recipe calls for 90 grams of melted butter. I don't have butter, so I'm using margarine spread. It's a fine substitute. I also need 1 beaten egg. I'm going to prepare the dry ingredients in a separate bowl. I only have plain wholemeal flour. To make it self-raising, I add 2 teaspoons of baking powder for every cup of flour. I need 1.5 cups of flour. So I need to add 3 teaspoons of baking powder. I'm using 1/2 teaspoon, so that means 6 spoonfuls. Now back to the recipe. 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. A pinch of salt. And a sprinkle of nutmeg. Then mix well. The pitted dates should be nice and soft, and the temperature of the water should have lowered. I'm adding 3/4 of a cup of raw sugar. Using raw sugar instead of white sugar helps add a caramel taste to the loaf. Then I'll add the melted margarine. Now to add the egg and then mix. I won't let the egg sit as the heat could cause egg lumps. I will leave a list of the ingredients in the description. I'm going slow because I don't want the liquid to spill everywhere. Oh, I forgot the dash of vanilla. Okay, now for the dry ingredients. And the chopped walnuts. It smells amazing already. I'm using a loaf pan, and I'll line it with baking paper. The trick to getting baking paper to behave is to beat it up. Pour the mixture into the lined tin. Now to sprinkle more chopped walnuts over the top. I preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius, which is about 355 degrees Fahrenheit. I place it in the oven and bake for 45 minutes. "30 minutes into the cook, I thought it may burn, so I placed some foil on the top. It's done, yay. It looks great. I believe the dip in the middle is because I panicked and opened the oven to cover it in foil. Next time, I will leave it alone and trust the process. It is very yummy, sweet and dense, a lovely date and walnut loaf. I recommend having a slice while it's still warm, with a dollop of margarine or butter. If you would like to see what I learned to cook in the future, you can subscribe to the channel for free. Let me know what you thought of today's video in the comments below. I hope you had a good day.